Hello again, you're watching GB News The Week. We are turning our attention now to the digital world with GB News' Rebecca Hutson. So you've been reviewing all the stories that have been doing really well online for us.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Well, I have a great job, don't I?
Yeah.
That I get to go and do this. Although I can't believe you're not on any social media. We're going to have to fix that.
No. Deliberate boycott.
Well, I've already had a tweet saying somebody loves you, so...
Well, that's very
good
kind.
reason to go.
Now I'll join social media. What's that?
If it's all like that, we'd all be there.
Exactly, only positive.
We've got a lovely story to kick us off with. This is Jack Jarvis, who spoke to Ellie Costello. She's our South of England reporter. And he's going to sail solo across the Atlantic to raise money for two charities in memory of his grandfather, who died from a brain tumour. And he was just such an inspirational guy. He's not a professional sailor. He's never done this before, but just obviously out of respect and tribute to his grandfather, he wants to raise money for a brain tumour charity and also mental health. It's just a really touching story that I think you're going to love.
Grandfather was so proud. Let's watch.
What is compelling you to do this?
Well, basically, Ellie, I just wanted 3.5 months off work. This challenge all sort of came about to raise money for charity. A few years ago, I ran the New Forest Marathon, and people were sort of like, well, why should we sponsor you? You know, it's not hard enough. So I was like, right, I'm going to find a challenge that's never been done before, over 100 days. That's why I'm rowing the Atlantic and attempting something, a route, I should say, that's never been done before.
And just to say about that marathon, because Jack has done crazy things before, that marathon that you ran, it wasn't a normal marathon, was it?
No, so that was a few weeks ago. I ran a marathon carrying a rowing machine. Probably about the halfway point, I thought this was a really stupid idea on the hottest July day ever as well. But no, it was a great day, raised loads of money for the challenge, and everyone who stopped me was really friendly and thought I was mad as well, so yeah.
I think you might be, yes. And tell us a little bit about those charities, because they do mean a lot to you, because you're doing this all to raise money for charity.
Yes, so Brains Trust is a brain tumour charity. That's in memory of my granddad, who passed away of brain tumour in 2007. And then CALM, so the Campaign Against Living Miserably.
Oh, God.
Campaign Against Living Miserably. I've never heard of that.
Oh, so it's quite a popular sort of new mental health organisation that, is trying to raise awareness of depression and that people don't have to feel and live with mental health, and that there are ways to cope and move on from it. I mean, that's quite emotional, isn't it, that package? Like you said, his grandfather would be so proud of him.
Such a special relationship, isn't it, grandparent?
Yeah. There was a really lovely quote. He said, if my granddad can battle a brain tumour for 3 years, then I can take on the Atlantic for a few weeks.
I always thought these Atlantic crossings happened around Christmas, and they always sort of arrived into sort of a place like Antigua around January. It seems like isn't it sort of hurricane season? I don't know. I'm sure he's done his research, but I'm slightly worried about what he's taking on.
And absolutely terrified. Yeah, just by himself in a choppy, mad Atlantic.
Yeah, well, hopefully he's got a support crew. We wish him all the very best of luck with that. OK, I've got an e-scooter story for us.
How do you both feel about e-scooters?
I think bring it on.
Oh, do you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We've got to stop polluting the planet, and we've got to try and stop the congestion in the city.
I'm not convinced that people flying around London on e-scooters are doing it for environmental purposes. I think they just love scooting around. I don't think that they're Green Party members.
Well, but it helps. There's a side effect of it. Anyway, that's a whole other debate. I feel really strongly that
people
it's a good thing,
don't they?
A lot of people hate them. So.
Well, this is really interesting. So they're being used by rural gangs to target farms and commit rural crime. So they're bad. So this is bad use of e-scooters. Just to flag.
One for you.
One for you. So rural crime had been down during the pandemic because people, as crime was reduced, wasn't it? Because people were literally stuck at home. But because as we open up and people are getting on these e-scooters and they're using it to raid farms of really, really expensive equipment, including the GPS that they use to track livestock and their machinery. This is like tens of thousands of pounds worth of damage. And they're using e-scooters. And Amelia Harper, our East of England reporter, had this great report on it.
OK.
These gangs are being dubbed rural wraiths, if you like, and essentially what is happening is they are using e-scooters, which are increasing in popularity. We've seen them across many town cities, everywhere really. They are using them as high-speed getaway vehicles. Now, the pandemic has helped to keep criminals away from stealing in rural areas, but this has led to thieves finding new tactics and targets. NFU Mutual says they are using these e-scooters often under the cover of night to get away silently and quickly, because remember, e-scooters are really quiet, to get away once they've stolen more high-value goods than they would have before. So they are targeting those higher value items like GPS systems because they cannot get onto farms as much during the pandemic. They are now targeting those high value items to get more bang for your buck, as it were. They have been observing these farms for hours, sneaking in when they're often left unattended for just minutes. So it's really not good news. Now, if we look at GPS systems, they're £10,000. We have just started harvest recently, actually, and this is going to leave farmers out of work and it will leave crops in the ground. So this is a really worrying development.
Certainly electric vehicles, whether they're scooters or cars, they're definitely good for committing crimes. It's so quiet. You can think about them, can't you? But we were just saying whilst that clip was playing, on an e-scooter, you can't nick much farm equipment. I mean, a GPS is probably about all you can stick in your backpack
they're not
when you're scooting down the lane.
It's got to be easy to track as well, surely.
Exactly.
GPS. They're the easiest things to track. You've got to do is, oh, there it is.
Yeah,
I like the phrase rural raves. I thought that was suitably dramatic.
Like
but this was one of our most commented clips of the week because I think e-scooters really I mean, you guys prove it. Everyone's got an opinion, haven't they, sort of one way or the other. But I thought a great report from Amelia there.
Always. OK, Mark Dolan, what's he been saying? He's been having a go at the sneery anti-flag brigade.
He has indeed. This is one of his punchy monologues on Tonight Live with Mark Dolan. This was in response to the letter that the Archbishop of York wrote in the Telegraph about how London metropolitan elites are kind of alienating people in sort of rural and northern England, and that we need to kind of re-embrace Englishness and we need to get rid of these divides. And so he had a very punchy monologue about why we should be proud of the flag.
Let's take a look.
You'll like it.
The Archbishop of York has criticised the London metropolitan elite for looking down on people who are proud to be English. The Most Reverend Stephen Cottrell said such people should not be treated as backwardly xenophobic. He called for an expansive vision of what it means to be English and for the country to recover a sense of national unity. Writing in the Daily Telegraph, he questioned why being patriotic has become a taboo and how right he is to ask. Meanwhile, it's been revealed that the government have spent more than £163,000 on Union flags in the last 2 years. £163,000. What a disgrace. It's not nearly enough. They should be spending millions, because a population that loves its country will always be happier, safer, more united, and of course, more successful.
Also, I'm sure that was popular.
Absolutely. You know, we were talking about the flag, haven't we, kind of ever since over the Euros and before, really, you know, trying to reappropriate St George's flag from, you know, kind of that reputation it has of maybe being far right or not very pleasant. So I think Mark has got a great point there that, you know, flags are meant to unite people.
Yeah, I mean, that's their fundamental purpose,
exactly.
Surely.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I'm a proud Englishman and I'm a Scouser. And I work in the Midlands, and the reference there was potentially to this metropolitan elite that we hear a lot. And I can tell you, as soon as I hit London is a different country to the rest of the world, to the rest of the UK. I'm sorry. My brother and his wife live in Islington in North London, and there must be something when you move into that postcode, you just change. You know, honestly,
the coffee.
I don't know what it is. I mean, he's a Scouser too. You know, we're brothers. There's something about that North London postcode that makes people different to the rest of the country, and it's true. I was talking to his wife about immigration and concerns about unfettered immigration and all of that, and you know, they want more immigration. They don't want barriers up. And it's just a different world. It is different.
I suppose London is hugely diverse, isn't it? It's got 7 million people or so, and from all different backgrounds. And I suppose for some people, flags represent, you know, nationalism represents, you know, sometimes bad things, and you don't have to look far into our history to see why. And perhaps that is more confronting in a sort of diverse city like London. But you are right; it is a completely different perspective from huge parts of the country, and you shouldn't be ashamed of your own flag. You should be able to be a proud Brit, proud English man or woman, and also man or woman, and not be afraid of being called a xenophobe.
If Welsh nationalism is OK, if Scottish nationalism is OK, why the hell can't we be proud of English nationalism?
That's exactly the point Mark made. You know, and you know, they should be printing. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. It was a very long monologue. Don't worry. We took the highlights. Don't tell him. But yeah, you could go back and watch it in full on Twitter. But that's the point he makes. You know, that we embrace nationalism for the other nations, but for some reason there is this kind of, you know, it's a bit problematic when it becomes comes to English nationalism. So there's a debate that rages, and like you say, it did really well online because, you know, people feel really strongly about reappropriating the flag and being proud.
Tell you what, there's something the Tory party have clocked onto, they haven't, isn't it? You see Robert Jenrick or whoever it is, every time they do a studio live, there's the flags behind them, often Maggie Thatcher up there as well. They're definitely tapping into that mindset. OK, let's talk about dogs. This time last week we were reviewing what had happened the week before, and we had a really hilarious clip with Colin Brazier trying to look dewy-eyed at, I don't know, something like a French bulldog. He wasn't interested because, you know, he likes a working dog. We've got a working dog on air this week.
A dog with a job. So this is Ollie, who is an emotional support dog. His owner, Martin Diver, brought him in. Martin was served in Afghanistan and is suffering from PTSD. And so Ollie is his companion dog who is helping him work through his condition and get back to health. And even Lawrence Fox, was on the sofa with Ollie the dog and couldn't help but kind of melt a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay, let's watch.
What does he do? What does he do for you? Oh, he's most amazing. He's the most amazing companion. He's very, as you can see, he's very loving, compassionate dog. But some of the unique stuff he kind of does for PTSD. So he's just with a bit of a love. Sorry.
So much.
Oh, he's the most fantastic
dog.
So, oh man, I guess he lives to love. He's lovely. He's lovely. So he's really good at kind of picking up on nervousness and anxiety and stuff like that. So what he'll do, if he feels I'm nervous or I'm not quite with it on that particular day, he'll protect me. He'll give me some space. Yeah, he'll generate space. I think one thing that's really important to say with the PTSD is it kind of follows. Holy, really?
Oh, it's all happening now.
Come on,
Kelly, Ollie. Becca, did you choose that clip? That dog was getting amorous with the cushion that you're sitting on.
I was wondering what the scent was.
No, I didn't know. It was supposed to be a lovely, innocent story about a doggo, for heaven's sake. But wasn't he gorgeous, Ollie the dog?
I don't know if I can look at him in the same way.
No, nor can I now. But I loved how all the panel on the sofa was just kind of half listening to the interview, but also quite in love with the dog. But you can't underestimate the healing power of animals, can you? There's something so relaxing about them.
Are you a dog person?
I'm a cat person.
Yes.
Yeah, I love cats. Ooh,
okay.
Are you a dog person?
Probably, yeah. What about you?
I think, well, I'm 100% a cat person, but I don't dislike dogs.
Okay.
I think people always have to be one or the other, but I've always had cats. I want a cat, but I don't dislike dogs, but I don't really want to pick up poo.
The only problem with dogs, right, is that, and the owners are nose blind. My mum and dad have got a little fluffy Bichon Frise, or looks like a little lamb.
It stinks.
And it stinks. And you say, look, mum, you know, you've got to wet vac the carpet. And they're in denial because they just are nose blind. No. It's every, I don't care what dog it is, they all stink.
No, people, dog owners get blinded, you're right, completely. Yeah. My parents have got Riley the Vizsla, and she can do no wrong, regardless of what Riley does. She is definitely their favourite daughter. And they've got two others. No, she doesn't smell, but she's a little bit naughty.
Nose blind.
Yeah.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.